Today we're going to look at scientific drawings. What is a scientific drawing? It is where art and science collide. Oftentimes, when scientists are outdoors observing nature, they will do drawings to document what they're seeing and what they're noticing. Here is an example of a scientific drawing, actually, three different examples of a scientific drawing. So why might a scientist sketch? Why couldn't they just take a photo? There's a couple of reasons. Well, there's many reasons, but we'll talk about a couple of them. So first of all, when they're drawing outside in nature, they can take notes and they can record important questions or important things that they noticed. And the second thing is that they can look at nature in much more detail than can be captured in a photo. So take a look at this dragonfly wing. There's so much detail there. And that is more than you would be able to maybe see on a photo. And then the other cool thing about when you're recording all those details, you're able to think about it and really observe it versus just taking a quick photo, because you're not looking at the animal or plant for very long when you just snap a quick photo. So what are we doing today? So sometimes in scientific drawings, the artist or scientist can zoom in on a certain area and they can show us a close-up of what it looks like. And this can be really helpful because it can show us the differences between certain plants and animals. So check out this fir needle or little branch of a fir tree, and this is the close-up of it. Look how the needles are attached to the branch. And then check out this is a spruce, and they're attached to the branch in a really different way. So a lot of times in scientific drawings, the scientist or artist will show a zoomed in area. Okay, so that's what we're learning today. We're gonna have a zoomed out area or a zoomed out object, and then we're going to have a zoomed in section showing what it looks like close up. Here's another example. So we have a full mushroom, and then we have this little area that zooms in on all those little holes on the bottom of the mushroom. And same thing with here. We have the full zoomed out mushroom, and then we have the zoomed in section.
Hi students, it's Miss Bowley here. So today we're going to learn how to draw a full tree, and then we're going to zoom in on one of the leaves. Okay, so we're going to draw the full thing, which is the tree. So we're going to need to find a tree in our neighborhood, and then the leaf zoomed in. You're going to need a pencil and your visual journal. And you can also bring a Sharpie marker outside with you if you like. Step one is to find a spot where there's a tree for you to draw, where you can see the whole thing. So you might need to go for a walk or go to a park or somewhere where you can see the full tree, not just the tips of it from your window. And once you found it, find a spot where you can sit or stand comfortably. So I actually found a spot where I could have a table to work on, but you can just sit with your visual journal on your lap if you like. And then you're gonna just look at the tree using the skills that we learned in our contour drawing lessons. And because I'm drawing the full tree, and because I can't really see that much detail on the tree because I'm kind of far away from it, I'm not drawing tons of detail. I'm just kind of looking at what the outline shape of it is. So I'm starting with some of the tree trunk and some of the branches. So I'm looking at where the branches are. And in a lot of trees, there's like this tree is really small and doesn't have tons of branches. It's kind of like a baby tree. But when there's tons of branches to look at, it's kind of hard to see where they all go. So you might have to sort of edit which branches you draw and which ones you just leave. So draw the branches and then you can draw the shape that the leaves make. And if you're drawing one that doesn't have leaves but has needles, you can sort of draw a little bit of kind of texture of what the needles might look like. So for the leaves on this one, I'm just drawing like wavy lines that I'm forming into a rounded shape. Well, this isn't exactly what the leaves look like, but from far away, from where I am sitting, it's kind of what they look like. So what we want to do is we want to take our time. We want to draw slowly. We want to make sure we're looking up at the tree to see what it looks like every now and then, right? Quite often, probably. And we're going to try to get as much detail as we can see, but not too much detail because that's going to be reserved for when we do our zoom in section. All right, so I will speed up the video and we'll keep drawing the tree. All right, so I'm just doing some little finishing touches up on those little leaves there, and then I'm erasing any parts that were sort of supposed to be in front instead of behind. So there we go. And then I went up to the tree and I found some leaves that had fallen off. I didn't pick the leaves off, I just grabbed the ones that had already fallen. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick an area to zoom in on. And I've already chosen to do the leaves. So I'm just going to choose, am I going to do a circle or am I going to do a box? I'm going to do a large rectangle because that's kind of what shape the leaves would fit into. Okay, so I'm drawing it about the same size as the leaf itself. Draw that rectangle, and then I will kind of like examine the leaf a little bit and then begin drawing it. So we had learned about contour drawings, and that's kind of what I'm doing, but just a little bit of a different method. So I drew the line down the middle of the leaf, and then I'm just following along those little curvy contour outline. And then I'll repeat on the other side. And then this is my chance, because this is the zoomed in portion. So in our zoomed out portion, we don't have much detail, right? Because we can't see very much detail. We're sitting really, really far away from the tree. But then when we go and get the leaf, we can look at it super close. We're right beside, like it's right on my notebook here, right? So I can include as much detail as I can on this zoomed in part. So I don't think you can see them on the camera, but there is a bunch of little veins on this leaf. And so I'm gonna draw them all. Maybe not all of them because there's so many, but I'm gonna draw the larger ones. And I'm going to add as much detail as I possibly can. I'm going to try to make it really accurate so that if somebody was trying to identify this leaf, they could identify it. Okay, and then I'm going to put a line to the section where I zoomed in. Okay, so I'm showing the leaf is what this is showing. Okay, so now I went inside because it was a little bit cold and chilly outside. So I started to use my Sharpie marker, and I'm just going to do some outlining of my tree and of my leaf. And so this is just going to be a pen and ink drawing. I'm not going to do any shading with any pencil or pen. I'm just going to have outlines. So I'm going to use my thicker Sharpie for some parts underneath the leaves, and then in parts of the tree trunk, and then I will be using my fine tip Sharpie to outline the rest. So basically, I would like you to choose a tree somewhere. Maybe you go for a walk with your learning coach. Draw the tree when you're sitting comfortably somewhere outside. draw a close-up of one of the tree's leaves. Hopefully you can find one that's fallen off. And then you can bring it home and outline, or you can do that at the playground or in the park or outdoors if it's really, really nice out. So I'm going to speed up the video while I'm going to outline the rest of my drawing. All right, and then I want to put some sort of a title and a date on my page so that we know what this is for. So you could say zoom in and zoom out drawing, October 2022, or if you know what type of tree this is, then you can write down what type of tree it is. So I said bur oak tree, my backyard, October 2022. So put some sort of title, tell us what this drawing is for, and then tell us the date so that we can see our progress throughout the year. All right, that's it. Thanks so much for watching. Can't wait to see your drawings. And then when you're done, go ahead and put those leaves back in nature.